Hi, I'm Yvonne Jones, and we want to invite you and thank you for coming and attending C2C World TV. We have a very exciting show today with two special guests. And our first guest that we want to introduce to you is Daniel Courselle. He has a working career span of 65 years in all phases of construction, real estate, engineering, development as an independent general contractor. He worked 50 years working with his father. He attended UC Davis with a major in agriculture, my specialty. I'm really happy about that, including his work in the Air Force Reserve as a radar specialist in Texas. Currently, he's involved in green energy, and he is the founder and investor of his new VETS E Power company. And most importantly, Daniel is a young 93-year-old putting us all to shame. Our second guest here tonight is James Renteria. He has over 35 years of human capital management in the human resources department for various Fortune 500 companies. He's developed and implemented of the talent acquisition strategies, planning, management, and coaching across multiple industries. He holds a BS degree in business administration and received his JD degree from Western State University College of Law. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. We're really excited about what you're doing for the world economy. And Daniel, I understand you're trying to go global with your new project for VETS E Power. And I'd like to hear more about what you're doing, your thought process, a little bit about your history, and what got you started into this, and how it all evolved. If you wouldn't mind sharing your story. Daniel.
My history, during all the various types of construction I've done, both on military bases and subdivisions, I've developed jigs and tools for each specific job. They weren't patentable, but they were useful for production on those jobs. What I've done now with the solar, that's a complete system where the entire structure can be all solar and not tied into the grid. The additional patents are all compatible with the solar panel system, where each adds to the value of the other. For instance, there's a wind turbine that will run along the ridge that ties into the solar panels. Then there's battery storage. It's a mobile stationary battery storage where you could stack them like inside of a factory where you have your power right there inside. I have a rolling crane operation if it's a large industrial building, providing that building is built for the solar, where a one man can operate the entire system right on the roof. And basically that's it. I just have a God-given talent to work out these problems, and they just seem to fall in place.
It's awesome.
So that's.
Now you also already have one patent, correct, under your belt?
Say again?
You already have one patent under your
I
belt.
have the solar panel system. It is patented, yes. That's a trifacial. That's where we generate three sources of power covering the same footprint.
I think it's awesome.
That is the first.
The interesting point on that is you've got your solar panels that go on a roof, okay? Then you have shingles. Dan's invention is different. It's part of the structure of the building, okay? That's what makes it unusual and different.
Excellent.
Well, it is the structural roof. The solar is the structural roof, replacing conventional roofing.
There's going to be a high demand for that, what you're offering, and you're trying to go global with this too, are you not? That's your plan?
Yes, well, it's mainly starting out for housing. Global housing is of interest worldwide. And solar is actually, solar is more interesting worldwide than it is in the United States.
True. We're just getting a hold of it now, are we not? I mean, it's popping up everywhere, different places. But what's really awesome is you are the founder and the investor of this project. And you're planning on the patents and getting it all organized and condensed into a compatible source, correct? The way it's structured?
System, creating the system
Yes,
itself.
the whole system. And that's very unique. Other people sell pieces here and sell pieces there, but you're creating this whole system.
That's right.
James, so how did you meet Daniel? How did you get involved in this project?
We ran into each other at a coffee shop. And I kept seeing Dan just working away every day as I would walk by. Finally, I decided to visit with him. I says, this gentleman's really hard at it. I wanted to get to know him. Sat down with him, started to chat with him, and we continued. The product really intrigued me because I've worked with startups before. So the more I would listen to him and hear about the product, I said, this is a real challenge, but it's a different product line, different than what I've seen. And we kept meeting, and I said, I shared with Dan, hey, I like startups. If I can help you in any way, we need to talk and let's see what we can do. I can help you eventually put a team together and move forward. Okay. I've worked with startups. Most of the startups I've worked with have had funding. There's a big difference between a funded organization and a company just purely starting up. But I really was seeking that experience with this product. And we later just kept chatting, and he kept sharing information and getting ideas. And I look forward to finding out not only what his mission is, but what he really wants at the end. And that's what's been exciting when he shares what he's doing and what he wants to do. The mission is pretty good, fantastic. And that's an important thing. When I interview people, it's finding out what they want to do, but how does that coincide with what's in existence in the company or what their product is? That's very, very key in selecting people that form a successful company.
I think it's exciting. It's amazing in so many ways that your mind just really grasps what's going on and how you want to generate a solution to the problems that we're currently having in this day and age. And Daniel, what do you find your biggest hurdles are right now? What would be the best things that could happen to you if it fell in your lap? What would be the most exciting thing that could help you move things forward?
Pardon me, the biggest need right now are funds to go global, which can get very expensive. There's over 200 countries, and kind of pick and choose which countries could use your product. Technically, all we would do going outside of the United States would be to license that country. But we need to get the patent, and all the patents have to go together. You can't do one and then get it and then go and do the second one and so forth. They have to be patented together. So that's why I say it gets quite expensive. I've financed everything so far, but I don't have the funds to go global with it.
So what's your experience, or what are you trying to do with the United States, for example? What would be the best solution for the United States? And can you do the United States separate, or does the United States have to be part of the global part of it?
Okay, what we're talking about is to start a 501c3, a nonprofit, run by women veterans, considering the woman generally she's the head of the family, she's the one that raises the children and so forth. So looking at the women veterans, they would help design the housing, low-income housing and so forth, for for-profit veteran contractors who would do the building. And we can do it at a lower cost. These housings would not only be the solar roof, but it would be the complete house with the insulated walls, which are manufactured in a factory and then assembled on the site. And we can do that quite a bit cheaper. Here in California, we say that it's about 40% greater in cost than it would be through the mid-states. So we know we can build it quite a bit cheaper that way. But we're giving you a all solar house that does not have to tie into the grid if you go full solar. It's a house that should last well over a century, generating power. In other words, it increases the value of your asset. The house is your asset. If you were to rent that period of time, all you're doing is burning expenses or costs. This way, if you own the house, it'll pay for itself in time with the savings. That's the beauty of it.
So on the manufacturing side, can you manufacture in multiple states, like in California and Missouri, for example?
Please repeat that.
So on the manufacturing side, making the product, manufacturing, can you manufacture in both California and I'm hinting at Missouri, for example?
I would think as far as manufacturing, when it gets to that point, you would almost need about 4 locations throughout the United States. Transportation can be a killer when you handle volume products.
And that's why I'm kind of hinting.
And the veterans can be the manufacturer of their own product.
Exactly.
And what my proposal on the battery storage, I would like to come up with a battery that would be guaranteed for, say, 10 years. These are solar batteries. They can go $1,200 to $2,000 a battery. If it's good for 10 years, then you rebuild it for no more than $200. So that initial cost is cut in half, plus the $2 fee or $200 fee. You can do that 5 times. That's 50 years with the same battery if you take care of it. So the actual cost of the battery is averaged out over that 50-year period, and it practically doesn't cost you anything. So that's a savings. You can increase your solar. Let's say you buy an all-electric car. You can increase the solar energy and generate all the power you need for your car. You still don't have to tie into the grid. And that's the reason for the bridge generator, because it would actually be a fourth source of energy produced by the same house. So you can blow yourself out with power if you wanted to.
Well, I'm really
and it doesn't cost that much. You know, solar energy is very minimal in cost.
Well, I am excited that we met because when we met, we talked about things and how our edible home gardens resorts could also play a role possibly in what you're trying to achieve. In other words, what we're doing is we have our resorts for people who need a place to live. They're living on fixed income. I think we can all relate to that in this age bracket. And bottom line is we try to help people have a safe, affordable place to live. And what you are doing, I really fit with what I was trying to do with my edible home gardens resorts. And I thought this would be great if we could do a model for you on one of our resorts. and help market it and sell it and help you out in the state of Missouri, for example, where it is centrally located in the United States, surrounded by 8 other states. And it helps with the shipping, you know, for sending things out. Where, like you said, shipping can get really, really expensive, especially if you're on the West Coast like you are. So I think you have the right idea in having different manufacturing spots to manufacture your products from. So I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that we met. And James, what else did you want? Anything else that you wanted to ask or have input on this product?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that the project right now needs to be finalized and created. A prototype has been developed and it needs to be tested, okay, which is important to the process. I think as one moves forward, you keep achieving certain steps, then the investors see it and they see the project completed and tested and all, and they'll be more excited about it. But
Oh, yeah.
keeping in mind that what's in existence, this is different. This can fulfill many different areas. It can be involved not only in residential, it could be fitted into commercial, and it also could in some way work in the agriculture field.
Yes, Daniel was saying about for producing food for greenhouses you were talking to me about, which I really like that idea. It's a great way to generate the heat and sun that you need, right, for all year long growth for
Absolutely.
agriculture.
Yeah. So there are
It
many.
actually goes beyond what a greenhouse ability is. My system is a dual roof, so we entirely control the environment inside. A greenhouse generally does, but with mine, it totally controls the environment,
That's
which is
awesome.
important.
And we don't want to ask you how because that's confidential information. So we're not going to breach that. We don't want to know your secrets, but we're really, really excited about the potential of where you're going with this and any way that we can help. What we would love to do with our C2C World TV here is to follow your process and your progress and see, you know, if there's anyone here that wants to be a part of what you're doing. If someone did want to be a part, are you accepting donations or how does that work, Daniel?
Again, please repeat that.
I said, if somebody wanted to contribute or be a part of what you're doing and what you're working on, how would they contribute? Would they do, are you looking for donations or at what stage are you at for that? And tell us a little bit about how that's going to work out for you, how we could help you.
I think maybe initially, probably the best would be is reaching out to Dan directly, either call or email. Email would probably be the better process, and explain to Dan how they would like to assist. Okay. And then they could have their discussions and determine whether it's money or other efforts in achieving the objectives.
That's awesome. I really like that. What we'll do is we'll put both your information that you want to put into the show notes at the bottom of our show, and whatever you want to include in there will be included. And this is a great way for people to reach out to you. People love helping vets. This, I think it's going to be great. And what you're doing is fantastic. Daniel, is there anything that you would like to add before we close?
I think we're going to go through GoFundMe Pro to try and get sufficient funds in order to get the future patents. Hopefully we can generate enough that way, and then we go public with the product.
That's
In the
awesome.
meantime, we can be getting our required testing. There's still a lot of testing for safety and building codes and so forth.
Mhm.
We don't have a problem. We know we qualify, but you still have to go through all the tests. So that too we have coming up.
I love it.
You know, it just couldn't, we can't just open the doors in 30 days and start building the product.
Yeah, exactly right.
And
Jane,
at my age, I'm in a hurry.
Yvonne, we'd like to thank you for the invite and giving Dan the opportunity to share his product and his objective and his mission.
been totally my pleasure. I enjoyed both of your company. We've learned a lot about each other over a short period of time, and I'm looking forward to learning more about all the little nuances of what you need and how we can help you and be a part of that. I'm very looking forward to having you again on the show, and anytime you want to come on, you say you're ready to do the next phase or whatever you want to do, we'll jump on, and we'll be happy to move forward with you all along through the entire process. So, gentlemen, I just want to thank you so much. Looking forward to our next show with you guys and updates along the way at any point in time. If there's anything else you want to say.
Thank you.
Yvonne, for the interview.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Yes, we'll be glad to get back to you, you know, when we get more progress.
Thank you so much. And you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye now.